In life's magnificent playhouse, the human brain assumes the main role. An impressive result of evolution, it persistently orchestrates a melody of electrical impulses and chemical responses. Housing billions of neurons, these cells relay information, shaping the orchestra that forms our consciousness. As we marvel at the brain's stunning complexity, let's delve deeper into its intricate architecture. The human brain is divided into three main parts: the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the brainstem. The cerebrum, the largest part of the brain, is split into two hemispheres and is responsible for higher brain functions such as thinking, learning, and consciousness. Each hemisphere is further divided into four main lobes: the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, and temporal lobe. These lobes are like the different sections of an orchestra, each playing their unique role, yet harmoniously contributing to the symphony of our thoughts and actions. Next, we have the cerebellum, located at the back of the brain. This part is vital for our motor control, balance, and coordination. Think of it as the conductor of the orchestra, ensuring each section comes in at the right time and pace. Finally, the brainstem, the oldest and most primitive part of our brain, controls our autonomic functions like breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure. It's like the stage crew, often overlooked, but without it, the show simply cannot go on. This architectural marvel, with its billions of neurons and trillions of connections, forms the basis of who we are. It is the canvas on which our experiences, thoughts, and emotions are painted. Stay tuned as we explore the brain's dynamism in the next scene. The brain is not just a structure, it's the control center of our body, a biological supercomputer carrying out a plethora of functions. It helps us interpret and respond to everything we experience. Let's delve into some of these functions. Firstly, our brain controls our thoughts, memory, and speech, movement of the arms and legs, and the function of many organs within our body. It's the brain's orchestration of these functions that allows us to respond to the world around us. For example, when you touch a hot surface, it's your brain that processes the pain signals and prompts you to pull your hand away. Secondly, the brain is responsible for our emotions and behavior. The limbic system, nestled deep within the brain, is the emotional powerhouse controlling our feelings and reactions. Whether you're laughing at a joke, crying at a movie, or feeling the rush of adrenaline during a thrilling roller coaster ride, it's all thanks to this part of the brain. Finally, the brain regulates our body's basic functions that keep us alive, like breathing, heart rate, and digestion. This is managed by the brainstem, which acts like an autopilot, ensuring these functions continue without us having to consciously think about them. So, from processing sensory information to regulating our heartbeat, from allowing us to appreciate a beautiful sunset to helping us solve complex problems, the brain is at the helm, silently and efficiently managing it all. In the next scene, we will delve into the dynamic nature of this incredible organ. Stay tuned! Our brain doesn't just process information and keep our body running smoothly. It's also deeply involved in our emotional world. It's like a masterful conductor, orchestrating a symphony of emotions that shape how we interact with the world. The emotional center of our brain is primarily the limbic system, which includes structures like the amygdala, hippocampus, and the hypothalamus. Let's take a closer look at each. The amygdala, often referred to as the brain's alarm system, is responsible for our fear response. When we encounter a threat, it's the amygdala that triggers the fight, flight, or freeze response. The hippocampus, on the other hand, helps us store emotional memories. Ever wondered why certain smells or sounds can instantly transport you back to a specific moment in time? That's the hippocampus at work. And finally, the hypothalamus regulates our body's response to stress and helps keep our emotions in balance. It's like the brain's thermostat, adjusting our emotional temperature based on the signals it receives. So, whether we're feeling joy, fear, anger, or love, it's our brain's emotional symphony at play. In the next scene, we'll explore the dynamic nature of this incredible organ. Stay tuned! The human brain is not just an emotional maestro, but it's also a remarkable storage device. As we experience the world, our brain is constantly recording and storing information. This process, called memory formation, is a complex one that involves several different regions of the brain. It starts in the sensory areas, where we process the sights, sounds, and other stimuli from our environment. This information is then sent to the hippocampus, which we talked about in the last scene. The hippocampus is the brain's main file clerk. It takes the raw sensory data and packages it into a cohesive memory. But the hippocampus doesn't store these memories long-term. Instead, it sends them to other parts of the brain for permanent storage. The type of memory determines where it's stored. For example, factual information, like the capital of a country, is stored in the neocortex. Emotional memories, on the other hand, are stored in the amygdala, the brain's emotional center, and procedural memories, like how to ride a bike or play a piano, are stored in the cerebellum. So, the next time you recall a fond memory or a piece of trivia, thank your brain's intricate memory mechanism. In the next scene, we'll delve into the dynamic nature of this incredible organ. Stay tuned. The human brain is a learning machine. It's always adapting, growing, and changing to help us understand and navigate our world. After we've looked at the brain's memory mechanism, let's explore how the brain learns and adapts. The process of learning begins with attention. When we focus on something, our brain starts to record and analyze the information. This is where the prefrontal cortex comes into play. It's responsible for focusing our attention and ignoring distractions. Once we've paid attention to something, the next step is encoding. This is where our hippocampus comes back into the picture. It takes this information and encodes it into a format that can be stored. The final step is retrieval, where we recall the information we've learned. This process also involves the hippocampus, which sends signals to the parts of the brain where the information was originally processed. The fascinating thing about learning is that it actually changes the structure of our brain. As we learn, new connections are formed between neurons, and existing connections are strengthened. This is known as synaptic plasticity. In essence, learning is the process of rewiring our brain. So the next time you're learning something new, remember, you're not just gaining new knowledge, you're literally reshaping your brain. In the next scene, we will delve into the dynamic nature of this incredible organ. Stay tuned. As we've explored the fascinating process of learning and the dynamic capacity of the brain, it's equally important to understand how our brain ages. Just like any other part of our body, our brain is not immune to the effects of time. Aging can cause changes in the brain size, vasculature, and cognition. The brain shrinks with increasing age, and there are changes at all levels from molecules to morphology. The number of neurons decreases. Dendrites lose their complexity and decrease in length. Some decrease in myelin has been observed as well. Despite these changes, many cognitive functions remain stable or even improve with age. Older people have more knowledge and insight from a lifetime of experiences. Research is ongoing to further understand how the brain compensates for the challenges of aging. Studies suggest that the brain adapts by using more of itself. Older adults often show more bilateral activation than younger adults. That is, they use both sides of their brain to process tasks, while younger people use just one. This phenomenon is known as HAROLD, hemispheric asymmetry reduction in older adults, and it may help to compensate for age-related changes in neural function. So, while our brain does age, it continues to adapt and adjust in its remarkable ways. In our next scene, we'll delve more into the dynamic nature of the brain. Stay tuned. As we continue our exploration of the brain, let's delve into an aspect of our lives that's both mysterious and critical. Sleep. Sleep isn't just a time of rest for our bodies, it's a crucial period for our brains. When we sleep, our brain doesn't simply switch off. Instead, it shifts into a different gear, performing a variety of essential tasks. During the deepest stages of sleep, our brains are busy consolidating memories, processing information from the day, and preparing for the next. This is why a good night's sleep can improve learning, memory, and overall cognitive performance. One fascinating aspect of sleep is the occurrence of dreams, which are thought to be a byproduct of the brain processing emotions and experiences. But sleep isn't just about processing and storing information, it's also a time for the brain to clean house. Recent studies have suggested that during sleep, the brain clears out harmful toxins, a process that may reduce the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. This brainwashing process is thought to be one of the reasons why we feel refreshed and energized after a good night's sleep. In essence, sleep is an active period during which a lot of important processing, restoration, and strengthening occurs. So, the next time you're tempted to skimp on sleep, remember, your brain needs that time to keep you functioning at your best. In our next scene, we'll delve more into the dynamic nature of the brain. Stay tuned. As we journey through the wonders of the brain, it's important to highlight a key player in its optimal functioning: nutrition. The food we eat doesn't only affect our physical health, but also has profound effects on our brain's health and cognitive functions. Essential nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and B vitamins are crucial for brain health. Omega-3 fatty acids, for instance, are integral to brain health. They're involved in building cell membranes in the brain and have been linked to improved thinking abilities and memory. On the other hand, antioxidants in foods like fruits and vegetables help protect the brain from potential damage caused by free radicals. B vitamins found in whole grains, lean meats, and legumes help to reduce inflammation in the brain and are involved in the production of energy needed by our brain to function effectively. But it's not only about what nutrients our brain needs, it's also about how we provide these nutrients. Regular, balanced meals can provide a steady supply of energy to the brain, helping it function at its best. On the flip side, a diet high in refined sugars and unhealthy fats can hinder memory and learning while accelerating brain aging. So next time you're reaching for a snack, remember, your food choices can have a significant impact on your brain's health and performance. Stay tuned as we delve further into the dynamic nature of the brain in our next scene. As we've explored the impact of nutrition on our brain, let's not forget another essential component for optimal brain health: exercise. Physical activity is not only beneficial for our body, but also has profound effects on our cerebral functions. When we exercise, our heart rate increases, leading to an enhanced flow of blood and oxygen to the brain. This can stimulate the production of hormones that promote the growth of brain cells. Additionally, exercise triggers the release of chemicals in the brain that affect our learning and memory abilities. One of these chemicals is the brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, which supports the survival of existing neurons and encourages the growth of new neurons and synapses. Regular exercise can also help improve mood and sleep and reduce stress and anxiety, all of which can contribute to cognitive impairment. Furthermore, exercise has been linked to neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form and reorganize synaptic connections, especially in response to learning or experience or following injury. So whether it's a brisk walk, a yoga session, or a high-intensity workout, make sure to include some form of physical activity in your routine. Remember, a healthy body fosters a healthy mind. Stay tuned as we delve further into the dynamic nature of the brain in our next scene. As we've seen, our brain is an incredible organ, not just for its physical capabilities, but also for its role in our mental health. The brain is the command center for our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. It's where we process joy, sadness, fear, and anger. It's also where mental health conditions like depression, anxiety, and schizophrenia originate. These conditions are often linked to changes in brain function or structure. For instance, depression has been associated with reduced size in parts of the brain involved in mood and thinking. Similarly, anxiety disorders can be linked to changes in the amygdala and hippocampus, areas of the brain that help regulate fear and memory. But here's the good news. Just as our brain can change in response to negative experiences, it can also adapt and heal in response to positive interventions. Things like therapy, medication, exercise, nutrition, and social support can all help improve mental health by changing brain function and structure. This is another manifestation of the brain's amazing plasticity. So remember, taking care of your brain isn't just about keeping it physically healthy. It's also about nurturing your mental well-being. Join us in the next scene as we explore more about the dynamic nature of our brain. In our last scene, we touched on the mind-blowing complexity of the human brain. But what's even more fascinating is its dynamism. The brain isn't a static organ. No, it's a living, breathing, ever-changing landscape. This is thanks to a remarkable quality known as neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. It allows the neurons, nerve cells, in the brain to compensate for injury and disease and adjust their activities in response to new situations or to changes in their environment. This is how we learn new skills, remember facts, or recover from brain injuries. Imagine your brain as a dense forest with countless trees, each tree being a neuron. The branches and leaves are the dendrites and axons of neurons, which connect with other neurons to form a network. When we learn something new, this network gets reconfigured. New trees grow, old ones die, branches intertwine in different ways. This is all thanks to our brain's incredible plasticity. So the next time you're struggling with a new skill or challenge, remember, your brain is literally reshaping itself to help you succeed. In the next scene, we'll dive into the brain's fascinating ability to control every aspect of our lives. Stay tuned. Our brain, a mere 2% of our body's weight, is an energy powerhouse, consuming about 20% of the body's total energy. That's more than any other organ. This energy fuels the countless processes that keep us alive and allow us to interact with the world around us. But how does it do all this? The answer lies in neurotransmitters, the brain's secret weapons. These chemical messengers play a crucial role in how we think, feel, and behave. When you're feeling happy, it's because your brain is releasing serotonin. Feeling alert and focused? That's the work of norepinephrine. And that warm, fuzzy feeling when you're around someone you love? You can thank oxytocin for that, but neurotransmitters don't just regulate our mood. They are also crucial for cognition, helping us learn, remember, and make decisions. They control our physical movements, our sleep patterns, our response to stress, and so much more. So the next time you experience a surge of emotion or master a new skill, remember, it's all thanks to the extraordinary powerhouse that is your brain. In the next scene, we'll explore some of the amazing things you can do to keep your brain healthy and sharp, so stay tuned. Just as a vault securely stores precious items, our brain serves as a vault for our memories, securely storing countless pieces of information that shape our identity, guide our behavior, and influence our emotions. Let's delve into this fascinating aspect of the brain. Our brain's memory center is a region known as the hippocampus. Here, experiences are encoded into memories through a process called consolidation. This is how short-term memories are transformed into long-term ones. But the hippocampus doesn't work alone. Other regions, like the amygdala, attach emotional significance to these memories, making some experiences more memorable than others. Have you ever wondered why certain smells or sounds can suddenly transport you back to a specific moment in your past? That's your brain's memory vault at work, effortlessly retrieving stored information and presenting it to your conscious mind. But memory isn't just about the past, it's also crucial for the future. Our ability to imagine, to plan, and to predict all rely on our memory. It's what allows us to learn from our experiences and adapt to new situations. And just like a real vault, the brain's memory vault needs to be maintained. Regular mental exercise, a healthy diet, adequate sleep, and stress management are all crucial for keeping our memory sharp. So, the next time you recall a fond memory or learn something new, remember, you're accessing your brain's incredible memory vault. In the next scene, we'll discuss how you can continue to keep your brain healthy and sharp. Stay tuned. Sleep, a state of mind that we all experience but rarely fully understand. While we sleep, our brains aren't just idling away time, they're actually hard at work. Sleep is a key part of the brain's maintenance routine, and it plays a particularly important role in the process we just talked about, memory consolidation. During the deepest stages of sleep, our brain waves slow down dramatically and the hippocampus gets busy. It's like a librarian, meticulously organizing the day's experiences and encoding them as long-term memories. But that's not all. Sleep also allows the brain to cleanse itself. The brain's cleaning system, known as the lymphatic system, kicks into high gear when we're asleep. It flushes out harmful toxins that have accumulated during the day, including those associated with neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. So the next time you're tempted to skimp on sleep, remember that you're not just resting your body, you're also giving your brain the time it needs to process, consolidate, and clean. In the next scene, we'll explore more on how to keep your brain healthy and sharp. Stay tuned! Our brains are remarkable not just for their complexity, but also for their incredible adaptability. This is thanks to a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize and form new neural connections throughout life. It's like a river changing its course over time. When we learn something new, practice a skill, or even just think about something, our brains rewire and strengthen certain neural pathways, making it easier for us to retrieve and use that information or skill in the future. In addition to neuroplasticity, our brains are equipped with a unique type of neuron known as mirror neurons. These neurons are activated not only when we perform an action, but also when we observe someone else performing the same action. They play a crucial role in our ability to empathize with others, learn from their actions, and understand their intentions. So our brains are not just static, rigid structures. They're dynamic, adaptable, and deeply interconnected with our experiences and interactions. In the next scene, we'll wrap up with some tips on how to keep your brain healthy and sharp. Stay tuned! In this era of rapid technological advancement, we've made leaps and bounds in understanding the inner workings of the human brain. This is largely due to the imaging revolution. With the advent of techniques such as functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, and electroencephalography, EEG, we can now observe the brain in action, in real time. These techniques allow us to see which areas of the brain light up when we perform certain tasks or experience particular emotions. This has not only deepened our understanding of cognition, emotion, and behavior, but it has also opened up new avenues for diagnosing and treating neurological disorders. For example, by comparing the brain scans of individuals with and without a certain disorder, we can identify abnormalities in brain structure or function that may underlie the disorder. These advances in brain imaging have truly revolutionized neuroscience, providing us with an unprecedented window into the human mind. In the next scene, we'll delve into some tips and tricks on how to keep your brain in top shape. Keep watching. The human brain is indeed a marvel, but it's also a delicate organ that requires proper care and maintenance. In this segment, we'll share some essential tips to keep your brain in top shape. Firstly, a balanced diet is crucial. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and other nutrients can help boost brain health. Secondly, physical exercise is not only good for your body, but also your brain. Regular exercise increases blood flow to the brain, enhancing its functionality. Thirdly, never underestimate the power of a good night's sleep. During sleep, the brain processes and consolidates memories, cleanses itself of toxins, and prepares for a new day. Mental stimulation is also key. Engage in activities that challenge your brain, like puzzles, reading, or learning a new skill. This helps create new neural pathways and strengthens existing ones. Lastly, managing stress is vital. Chronic stress can damage the brain and impair its functions. Practice mindfulness and relaxation techniques to keep stress at bay. Remember, a healthy brain leads to a healthy life. In our next scene, we'll wrap up this fascinating journey into the human brain.